On May 14, 2021, China's Zhurong Rover successfully landed on the surface of Mars. This was a huge milestone for China because it was the first time the country touched down on the Martian soil. Just a few days later, on May 19th, China's National Space Administration released the first pictures taken by Zhurong from Mars. At first, it might seem like landing on Mars isn't such a big deal, but in reality, it's one of the most complex challenges in space exploration. Bringing a spacecraft back safely to Earth is relatively easier, but landing on Mars is extremely difficult. That's why this achievement is considered a major success in space history. Friends, in today's video, I'll explain why landing on Earth is easy, but landing on Mars is so risky and complicated. Although Mars and Earth share some similarities, attempting a Mars landing is still one of the toughest challenges, so make sure to watch till the end. The story of Mars exploration began long ago. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, the first satellite into space, starting the space race. Just 5 years later, in 1962, the Soviets attempted to send a spacecraft to Mars, but the probe was destroyed before even leaving Earth's orbit. In 1971, they tried again. The probe reached Mars but crashed shortly after landing. On their third attempt, it did land successfully, but it stopped working within just 2 minutes. After repeated failures, finally, in 1976, the United States became the first to successfully land on Mars with the Viking 1 and Viking 2 missions. Later, NASA continued with more successes, the Spirit and Opportunity rovers in 2004, Phoenix in 2008, and Curiosity in 2012. But in 2016, Europe's Schiaparelli mission failed once again. Even with all these advancements, Mars landings remain extremely risky to this day. The three main reasons why landing on Mars is so difficult are the massive distance between Earth and Mars, Mars's gravity, and Mars's thin atmosphere. For astronauts traveling to the International Space Station, or even China's space station, spaceflight has become relatively routine, almost like catching a bus. But Mars is far, far away. The average distance is about 1,000 times greater than the distance to the Moon. When Mars is closest to Earth, the distance is about 55 million kilometers. This huge gap makes every Mars mission a serious challenge. In the future, scientists plan to send 6 astronauts on a Mars mission. According to calculations, a round trip could take about 2.5 years. Just getting there would take around 174 days, and returning another 201 days. Surviving so long in space requires enormous amounts of food, water, spare parts, and strong radiation protection, making the mission extremely complex. Another big challenge is the landing itself. Scientists call the final stage of descent the 7 minutes of terror. During this time, the spacecraft must land completely on its own using automated systems. Because of the huge distance, no instructions can be sent from Earth in real time. Scientists can only wait and hope everything works perfectly. Mars's atmosphere is also much thinner than Earth's. That means there's not enough air resistance to slow down the spacecraft easily. At the same time, Mars's gravity is about 1/3 of Earth's, which makes controlling the descent even harder. So, even though Mars and Earth share similarities, safe landings and future human missions on Mars remain incredibly dangerous and complicated. So, friends, what do you think? Will humans really set foot on Mars in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments.